The Point of View is brought to you by Cowbell Coffee. Cowbell Coffee. Taste it, love it. South Africa Tourism. South Africa Tourism. Inspiring new ways.
Hello, welcome to another edition of your favorite current affairs program on television, The Point of View. Right here on Citi TV, my name is Strickman Sopoko, sitting in for your regular host, Bernard Koku Avle. This week, the Youth Employment Agency has come under fire, attack, criticism, opposition for its plan to recruit 5,000 senior high school graduates to augment the work of professional health workers at the various CHPS compounds across the country. Many are asking, is this module initiative worth it, especially when there is a huge backlog of nurses who have not been posted? Against this backdrop, we will be exploring the major issues in this matter that has become a hot matter of discussion in the country in this week. We'll take a break. When I come back, I'll introduce my guests and we'll understand what this issue is all about. The show is live and interactive. You can join us via the WhatsApp line 0550585832. You can join us on the Facebook stream. Drop your comments down below. The stream will read them for you. We'll be back after the break. Stay with us. You're welcome back from the break. This is still The Point of View. So joining me in the studio this evening, sitting directly opposite me, is a very, very interested party in this matter. That's the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. I have their General Secretary in studio, David Tenkran. You're welcome.
Thank you.
David Chum Tenkran.
David Tenkran Chum.
David Tenkran Chum. Well, that's all to say. You're welcome.
Thank you, Elijah.
I also have the head of corporate affairs for the government agency that's under fire. I don't envy him at all. I don't want to be in this position right now. But the man is the director of corporate affairs,
right, for
the Youth Employment Agency. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, my brother. I hope you're doing well.
Oh, yeah, I'm well.
Right.
I'm well. Yeah, and then of course we'll be joined by you'll be joined on Zoom soon by the ranking member on the Health Committee in Parliament, the Honourable Kwamina Minta Akando. It's also a very, very interested party in this matter. Well, we'll be coming to him as well for his perspectives as and when he's ready to join us. But let's begin the discussion. Let me begin with you, Kwesi, on this matter. First off, what is the rationale behind this CHW model, this community health workers model?
Well, so thank you very much, my brother, and good evening to you and your viewers, and of course to my brother who I have met already early in the day, and we've had very good discussions on the way forward. Yes. I'm giving the basis, but I'm only greeting him.
We just want to understand.
I'm only greeting him. We've had very fruitful discussions this afternoon, which I'm sure will play out this evening. But to start with, the community health worker program, and I'll lay emphasis on some words, is a community-oriented program that we, the Youth Employment Agency, are doing in collaboration and under the auspices of the Ghana Health Service to support universal, basic, primary health care delivery in the rural areas. And I'm laying emphasis on some words. And so we are looking at areas where there are CHPS compounds, not necessarily for the beneficiaries to go into the CHPS compounds, but we have zones, communities that have these CHPS compounds where health delivery is not as basic and as universal as we can have in the country. And so this is a program that has emanated from the World Health Organization, supported by the World Health Organization. ILO, that's International Labour Organization, supports it. The African Union supports it, and they have created this program or package for 2 million young men and women to be distributed across rural communities in Africa. And in Ghana here, we are the channel that the Ghana Health Service is using to make sure that we support community health delivery in our country. So we have stated that in two folds. First of all, we are an employment agency for the young people in Ghana between the ages of 18 and 35. So any avenue that we can get to create employment, we are championing His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's 1 million jobs agenda. So any opportunity at all that we would get to create employment, we will. So first of all, it's an opportunity to create employment. Secondly, to support health delivery in the rural communities. There are a number of these young men and women some of who have completed senior high school, some of who have completed even tertiary institutions, and are waiting to either go into the nursing training school or to become a professional, like my brother seated here. They haven't had the opportunity yet. Ours is to have a stopgap measure. What do we do with them? We have these opportunities for them to get these young people into the rural areas to do the things that we are talking about. And what exactly are we talking about? We have said that they are not nurses. We have said that they are not midwives. We have said they are not doctors. They are not health professionals. We have made the distinction clear. So there is no conflict between, there is no conflict between our beneficiaries and the very health professionals. They are going to do things like distribution of mosquito nets in the communities. They are going to do things like educating the people. We are in the rainy season as we speak. We'll be talking about, you journalists will be talking about that outbreak of cholera very soon. We are talking about these young people going to educate the people in the rural households about how to keep their sanity, keep themselves clean, to prevent and reduce the advent of cholera in our country. So they are not going to do anything like injection, attending to a patient, taking somebody's medical history, which is rightfully so for our brothers who have gone through the profession and are professional. It's a very technical area. So we duly acknowledge that that is their work. They will do their work. Our people are only going in to assist with the menial activities that they won't have the time to do.
Already there are community health nurses who are trained to offer some of these outreach services that you are talking about. That's number one. They also have the professional training, albeit a bit below the nurse and midwives, to be able to do this. And then secondly, we are talking about, so you're speaking about the fact that they'll be going around and all of that. Out of which stations would they be working? So first,
they will be working for.
How different is their job from the community health nurses?
So we
already do some of these, and out of which posts would they be working? We have
the community health nurses. We have the midwives. We have the nurses. We have the doctors. But there are still volunteers.
Assistants.
Are you aware that there are volunteers still in the community, still helping universal and basic healthcare delivery in the communities? The Ghana Health Service has identified a gap to be filled, and that is a gap which is not to be filled by these professional nurses, and all of these fall within the health cap. So that is a request that has come to us from the Ghana Health Service, that we need young men and women not to come and give injections like I said before, but bring me a folder. I think shouldn't be a professional work. Bring me a scissors if I'm standing by a patient. Bring me a thermometer to take the temperature of a patient. I don't think it's a professional work. These are the gaps, and we have hospital staff everywhere, in the private sector, in the public sector, who are not professional doctors or professional nurses, but they ensure, or they are part of the system to make sure that there is a smooth running of the hospital. Now, what we have even said is that these people are not going to be stationed in the CHPS compound. They are going to report to the registered nurses and midwives and doctors. They are going to go into communities, into households, advise people. For example, in the rural areas, you would have pregnant women who are not going for antenatal care. You'll be advising them, you need to go every month, and they'll be taking reports on them and coming back to report to them that there is a household in Sabelugu Nanton or Kwabri East, where I come from, where a pregnant woman is not coming for antenatal. You need to pay attention. Can the nurse leave the patient who is lying on the bed? Can the doctor who is in the theater operating on the patient leave that and come to the household to monitor the person who is not coming for antenatal? These are the things we're asking and getting these young people, and not, mind you, these are young people who are aspiring to become professional nurses like our brother, professional doctors like our brother. We believe that in the space of 2 years, we're able to help them this way. Some of them who haven't been able to get the requisite certification within the 2 year space will now be able to rewrite the exams. Some of them who, for the purposes of finance, are not able to enter the tertiary institutions, they can save up and go. And we have experiences, we have stories to tell of some people who have gone through this program and are the best students in their batches.
Why the program has
the program has been run before 2016, and we didn't hear the kind of noise. For want of better words, I mean,
from 2016.
It ran from 2016 to 2018. So it's a program, and I've already given you.
Why was it suspended?
It wasn't suspended.
So, but is it still running? You said it ran from.
We are rolling it out. So what happened?
From 2016.
Let me tell you a little about. Let me tell you a little about the Youth Employment Agency. We ran programs for 2 years. After the 2 years, we either relax the program and do a value for money audit or impact assessment or monitoring and evaluation. We produce a report, and based on that technical report, we decide to roll out the program again, either immediately or in the following year or in the near future. So and we have a number of programs running. We have a number of programs running.
Has the same thing happened with the community police thing?
Yes, exactly. Community police is ending this
police has been running since first time, since I was
yellow. You remember Zoom Desk?
Yes.
This is the same program we are talking about. So if you remember Zoom Desk in 2006, 2008, it is still then the same program we are talking about. There is nothing new here. So I'm surprised, and we are surprised. We are actually taken aback by the
opposition that this has made.
And the opposition that this has made. Okay. But however, I've laid to you early on that this afternoon
I'll come to the meeting
with my brother and
Mr. Atenkura. So clearly, if I understand very well what Kwesi is saying, there's a gap, there's a clear need that needs to be filled, and they are just using this. The fact that there is a need, creating this module to meet the need and also provide employment and also provide maybe suitable grounds for people who may want to join your profession a bit later on. Exactly why are you opposed to this?
All right, good evening to you and your cherished viewers, as well as my brother Kwesi. I think he has said a lot of things, but clearly, if you listen to him, you could know that there is a certain policy dissonance in the way these policies are being rolled out.
Okay.
He made mention of the fact that the policy started as far back as 2006.
You said 2016.
He even set it down to 2006 because of the Kufuor nurses and the rest of it. I want to take it down there. In 2006, there was a problem. There was massive exodus and attrition of nurses and midwives from this country.
But that has started again, no?
Good.
UK. A lot of people, a lot of our nurses are, you know what I'm saying more than.
You're right.
More than myself.
But that does not justify the reintroduction.
Okay.
And I'll come to that.
All right. So let's understand why you agree.
So there was an attempt by the then government to more or less show up the numbers of healthcare providers. I'm not saying nurses. So they brought a 6-month training model. And Kwesi here is telling me that it's the same as what they are going to run. This is 3 weeks, but I'll come to that. So these people were trained to assist nurses.
For 6 months?
For 6 months.
Okay.
There were no backlog of nurses and midwives at that time. So I overheard my brother saying on another station, "Oh, this is not a novelty. It's been around." But you need to look at the exigencies of the time, what necessitated for it. So I think that clearly, once we have backlog of nurses and midwives, and the company, the CHIP Center has a capacity.
Okay.
When it was rolled out, you must have a community health nurse, must have a community health officer, and a midwife.
Okay.
They've been running this successfully.
All
these while. And it has been cited as one of the success stories in the sub-region.
But the Ghana Health Service says this, and we'll listen to Dr. Kumar Waji later.
Look,
says there's a clear need, and that they even have,
as far as I'm concerned,
volunteers.
As far as I'm concerned, if you need anybody to assist service delivery down there, it should be somebody who has a certain competence.
Okay.
Like the community health nurse. The challenge we have, therefore, why we oppose to this particular scheme now is that one, there is a backlog of nurses and midwives. Nurse assistants.
Oh, there are nurse assistants.
Of course.
Oh, they are also trained.
We have nurse assistants who are trained for 2 years.
Wow.
And
so
they
are they the same as the ward assistants?
No. Ward assistants are different.
So there are ward assistants and there are nurse assistants.
In Ghana, I did not interject.
Let me allow.
I did not interject.
Wow.
I did not interject.
Let me allow.
What I'm saying is that when it comes to
give us the hierarchy of
good. That's excellent. In Ghana, we have 3 levels of entry in nursing and midwifery.
Okay.
We have those who enter at the degree level.
Okay.
They go to university. They run the program for 4 years. And then they embark on mandatory supervisory work for 1 year, making 5 years. Then you have those who go to the 3-year diploma program, after which they also embark on what they call rotation or national service. It's a mandatory supervisory work because it is a recommendation without which you cannot even be employed.
Just like the housemanship for
Just like housemanship for doctors. So making 4 years. Then we have the nurse assistant clinical or nurse assistant preventive. The nurse assistant preventive are recruited as community health nurses, and they are supposed to work at the CHIP center to provide all these things that my brother is talking about. Who tells you that health education is supposed to be given by somebody who has had just 3 weeks training? What goes into that kind of training? To the extent that that person will be equipped to educate somebody. You ask him one question and he's baffled.
All the 3 weeks knowledge is
gone. The 3 weeks knowledge is gone. So what my brother is saying is neither here nor there. As far as I'm concerned, research has shown that when highly skilled healthcare workers or healthcare worker takes care of patients, one, it reduces mortality. So the death rate goes down.
So that makes sense.
It does make sense. Because there are certain errors that will not be committed by somebody competent professional. And you see, we tend to talk about, they'll go to the villages, Those in the villages are as human as we are. They have every alienable right to health and to quality health. Okay? So as far as we are concerned, they should engage the nurses and midwives who have been in the house since 2019 and wasting away. Nursing is a skill acquisition program. So you can de-learn. It's just like somebody, if you decide to
lose your skills, then if you stay at home.
Exactly.
It makes sense.
I have a specialization in anesthesia as a nurse anesthetist. And I go back to the clinical area because I'm in the classroom now, lecturing. But because I don't want to lose my skill, from time to time, I go to the clinical area to practice so that I can sustain that skill that I learned. You understand what I'm saying? So when you leave these people unemployed, they're also Ghanaians. And when you employ them, it also reduces their unemployment. Who says we have to create employment for only SHS leavers? So what we are saying is that they should employ the people who are languishing in homes.
All right. Okay, I'll come back to you. I have a question.
Obviously, YEA cannot pay that commensurate salaries to our people.
So they are looking for cheap labor.
But they're looking for cheap labor. That's it. You see, they even brought another model called Heal Ghana. And they employ qualified nurses and pay them
700 cedis.
Meager, a positive amount of money without paying their social security, without paying their... what kind of treatment is that? So, as far as we are concerned, this program should even be aborted so that I can have a piece of mind.
The Ghana Health Service is also a very crucial stakeholder in all of this. Kwesi has told us, from our interactions right from the beginning of this program, that the Ghana Health Service actually requested for these, SHS graduates who are going to be trained because they believe there's a certain need that exists at these CHPS compounds. And already they have recruited or they have volunteers who are trying to meet these needs. So they will need an organized program. Earlier this morning on the Citi Breakfast Show, Nathan Kwao spoke to the director of the Ghana Health Service. Exactly what's the justification from their courts as well. Here's Dr. Kuma Abuaje, Director General of the Ghana Health Service.
Misinformation going on around this area. Let me explain to you. In the health sector, We have from the tertiary level, secondary, all the way to the community level. We have the CHPS compound. CHPS compound is not just a facility. It's something that serves the entire community. But their main job was to move from house to house in offering care. What we have now is the link between the community and the CHPS compound. And over the years, we always had volunteers in the communities providing certain services, information, mobilization, etc. So what this serves to do is not to place them in CHPS compound, but create that link, a more educated group that creates that link between the community and the CHPS compound. They are not nurses. They are not going to sit there to do any clinical job. The first batch of this group, I think about 2015, 2016, about 20,000 of such group were recruited through the same program, and they worked so well across the country. Okay, so what they do is provide information about the community issues to the community nurses, reports monthly on the activities to the sub-district head working through the CHPS compound. Okay, they can distribute aquatabs in the community. They are linking people to the facility, making sure are people sleeping in mosquito nets? If not, what education should we give? These are the kind of work they've been done. And most importantly, a lot of this group, because of their interest, have graduated gone to schools to become community nurses, health workers. So it is nothing new. It's part of the group, the AU 1 million community health workers to be employed. And they create an important link between, like I said, the community and what we have the community management committee of the community and the CHPS compound. So they are not going to give injections. They are not going to do anything clinical. It's trying to mobilize and bring the community more to the healthcare system.
Very well, Doc. You've clearly stated this out, and this is quite clear. So, but this is very different from the impression when we listen to the YEA and what it wants to do. Yes,
the man who spoke from YEA.
Yes,
made a general statement because he's not a health worker. I would have expected that he also reacted to have come because DHS has signed the MOU with them. That explain exactly what are they. I, for one, will never compromise any quality of care for anything. Okay, so, and I say this is not the first batch. It's about the second or third batch of such community that has worked over the years.
But okay, so I'd like to know, so you be heard from the gentleman of the YEA. Is the YEA the implementing agency? Because clearly what you're saying is very clear, very specific, very tailored to suit the demands of the CHPS compound and all. So who is actually supervising this batch of people who will be trained and all of that to do this task that you are defining?
It's Ghana Health Service. It's like Ministry of Employment employing somebody for you.
So what? So is the YEA recruiting for the Ghana Health Service?
That's all. Temporarily to work with them. And so their supervision, their technical oversight, their training. And then the 3 weeks people are talking about is just the orientation of the training. They will now do some attachment to make sure they understand what the service needs. And then they offer. And so this is nothing to do with somebody coming to be a nurse, take temperature, take BP. No. They are nowhere near that.
You mentioned that this would be... Okay, sorry. Just finish up before I ask my question.
Distribution of commodities, providing information to community, bringing community issues back to the service, and that's what it is.
Okay, you mentioned that this would be about the second or third batch.
Yes.
So previously, those cohorts that got onto the program, were they also recruited by the YEA, or this latest one happens to be very different?
The same YEA. It's the same YEA. It's one of the models. It's the same YEA that recruited them. I think 2015, 2016. They deployed across the country. They did excellent job.
Okay, you mentioned
and
that
they also are giving tablets so that they can also detail the activities and also be able to provide information, community registers, there's a newborn here, inform them. So just to enhance the work of our community work.
You've detailed everything. I just want to find out something. Now, if you are saying that these people are to be recruited from the communities, and you say that's what has been happening per, your knowledge and per what's supposed to happen, this latest group, will that procedure still apply? Will they still be recruited from their local communities, or there's a slight change in how they are recruited this time around?
You see, you are not going to give them accommodation. So to be very, very wrong to recruit someone from Accra and send them to some village to go and work. He doesn't know the community. It's the people, they know themselves. It's a community where that's where the recruitment will come from, so that they understand their people and they're more familiar with them. So it's not like a central, and I'm sure that YEA can explain better for you, but what we know is that they are always recruited from the community that they're going to work in. Like we have community volunteers.
Yes.
For malaria, for EPI, etc. And these groups are still there.
Okay, Doc, I get that, and I know people who have worked up close and personal with this system of getting people from the community to work. But what will you say to the YEA? And the YEA is saying that there is a portal that will recruit people. So how is that going to work? How are we sure that the people who visit the portal are local to, say, Osu or La or Ebri or Ketasi or wherever? How are we sure that somebody from Accra will not be picked and be sent to Wa to go and work there without having a proper knowledge of this local community in question?
Well, I think YEA will better answer that, but what I know is that on the portal, you have more details and there are validations and there are people who are going to.
So that's Dr. Akumawaji clearly explaining why, one, there is a need for these volunteers, as it were, trained to be this module essentially to be deployed, and then also mentioned critically that the people who would be put on this program would be recruited from the community. So essentially, it is a community-based program where, for instance, if it's going to be run here in Adabraka, people from Adabraka, because of the community-based orientation of the program, people from Adabraka would be recruited so that they can do what they have to do. So I think those are the three main takeaways from the program. For now, though, we need to take a break. When I come back, I will engage the Honorable Kwamina Minta Akando, ranking member of the Health Committee. Is there any input from Parliament in relation to this? And then, of course, we would come and finish up the conversation with our two guests in studio. Stay with us. Of course, your messages also are welcome. If you made sense of what we're discussing so far on the program, you can bring in your comments and your contributions. So we'll be back after the break. Stay with us.
Banana, strawberry, chocolate, coconut. What's the fifth one?
Banana.
Banana?
Okay, Dad. Including mocha, Cowbell has 5 flavors. Banana, strawberry, chocolate, and coconut. What is the fifth one?
Strawberry.
No.
Are you feeling hot?
Honey, including mocha. Cowbell has 5 flavors: strawberry, banana, chocomalt, coconut. What's the fifth one?
Chocomalt?
Hey!
Coconut!
Hey!
Nutritious and refreshing, Cowbell has a flavor for everyone.
They think I don't know.
Cowbell, our milk. This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back. This is still the point of view. We're discussing the community health workers module that is intended or that intends to recruit 5,000 senior high school graduates to assist with the work that is done at CHPS compound. We are told they would do community outreaches and just provide assistance to the professionals in a manner that would not require a certain skilled competence in the health sector. That's the discussion we've been having for the past 31 minutes. Of course, we heard from the Director General of the Ghana Health Service essentially explaining why they support this initiative from the YEA, the Youth Employment Agency. I have on the phone lines the Honorable Kwabena Minta Akando, who is the ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament. Honorable Akando, you're welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you.
Yes, so first off, the first question would be to you if you are aware of this program in any form and shape as a ranking member of the committee that exercises oversight over the health sector. If you are aware of this gap that the Director General of Ghana Health Service is talking about and what you make of this initiative or model to sort of bridge this gap.
Okay, thank you very much. And the immediate answer I have for you is a big no. I have absolutely no idea about this particular policy or this particular recruitment. I have heard a number of people, including the spokesperson for the YEA, saying that he engaged Parliament. That is palpable falsehood. Again, I have had the opportunity to listen to Dr. Kumapwaje, what you played now, and I listened to the next two. Where I am, I don't have the opportunity to listen to you directly. I couldn't have the opportunity to listen to the other man from the YEA. But when I was listening to Dr. Kumapwaje and other people who have spoken on behalf of YEA, look, I can tell you that what government is there, and don't forget, don't paint the picture or create the impression as though Dr. Kumapwaje is a certain neutral person. Dr. Kumapwaje is government. It's government, and
but at least he's a professional who's been entrusted to administer a health system. So you give him that credit in terms of his professional outlook.
Dr. Kumapwaje is government. The man in your city, the nurse who is speaking is also a professional. Is he not a professional?
Yes.
He's also a professional. So let's put the issues in its right perspective. It is not as though Dr. Kumapwaje has come to speak and then he has put the matter to rest. No.
Okay.
But he's even confusing the issue. Because the main reason why this model was rolled out in the first place is different. And you see, as a government, before you roll out a policy, you must be the mood of the country and think about the benefits of that particular policy or the impact on the country. Look, you are in this country. The nurses who are at home have drawn almost everybody's attention, including Parliament, that they are at home and government is not posting them. So if the last thing you do is to go and pick another group of people who are not professionals to come and do the same job. Listen to me carefully. I am not in any way against creating jobs for any young or any youth, any young group of people or any youth in this country. I'm not against that.
Okay.
Number two, don't forget that these people who are staying in the house, more than 99% of them fall between the ages of 18 to 35, which of course is the definition of youth, the YEA Act. And the YEA Act, subsection 3I, they are supposed to facilitate the employment of the youth. Are these people not youth? The community nurses and the nurses who are they not youth? We have more thousands of people in the house at the moment who are professionals.
Okay.
Don't also forget that I listened to the PRO also saying that, they will be going to the villages and they will be going to educate people on prevention of some diseases and what have you. So it is one of the responsibilities of a community health nurse.
Okay.
To take the trip to the doorstep of the ordinary Ghanaian. It is one of their responsibilities. I have a lot of this in my constituency.
Okay.
Taking folders and what have you. You know, and so therefore, look, we have looked, you see, as a policy, for example, we need about 5,000 nurses. And then the vacancy we have, or the people who are available, let me start from this way. The nurses who are in the house are less than about 3,000. Then we still have a deficit of 2,000 to pay. We have a gap. That is where any government will come out with a policy. Within the short term, let's train some 2,000 people who are not professionals to fill in the gap. So that in the medium to long term, we look at professionals to come and fill in.
Okay.
When the first program was rolled out, wait a minute. When the first program was rolled out, what they did was basically to take data. Listen to me carefully. At that time, when they were introducing the church compound, the church concept, government needed to know within the catchment area how many people are there and the distance between the nearest health facility and all that. And they were given a specific, within a specific time frame. This is what they were asked to do. And don't also forget the fact that at that point in time, we never had this heavy backlog of lessons in the house. So they are confusing the issue.
Okay, so in 2016 it was justified because the CHPS concept was new, you needed people, but now it's not workable because you have a backlog. Is that the point you are making, Honorable Akando?
That's the point.
How so?
We have a lot of such people in the house.
How so?
Why are we, if we are not very careful, look, we get to a point where the YEA will come and tell us that, look, we need people to go and assist medical doctors to do surgery. And therefore, let's go and train SS graduates to come and then fill in that gap. Look, if you have anything for SSS graduates, of course, some of them, if you are creating jobs for them, I don't have a problem. But if government has anything for SSS graduates, for their future, government should be thinking about the expansion of the tertiary institutions so that we can get access. Because if you roll out 3 SHS, what we should be thinking about is that more SHS graduates will be coming out and create more, they expand access to the tertiary institutions. So, look, we do not, as a committee, we do not know anything about
this. All right.
I think the next administration have a solid point, and government has no business.
Okay. All right. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you on it. Yeah, but let me.
Okay. Let me respond to Honorable Akando.
So quickly.
No, give me time because he had spoken. I need to respond.
All right, that's fine.
Respond to some of the things I am surprised.
So it's the issue about
let me start
the
from
backlog
Honorable.
of
Let me start about from Honorable Akando's point. I thought he wasn't going to do politics with a very, very important and serious issue of this sort and pedigree. Honorable is my friend, and I follow him in Parliament and everywhere. But on cases like this, I'll request humbly that we discuss it dispassionate of politics. Honorable makes the point that in 2016, when he was in power, and they recruited community health workers, it was good. But currently, because he is in opposition, please allow me. I didn't interact him because he is in opposition, and we are creating jobs for the young people of Ghana, and it is going to inure to the benefit of, in quote and unquote, of one government. Honorable Akando says it is bad, and so we shouldn't pursue it. But in 2016, I don't want to go into that kind of politics.
Let's not do that. Let's respond to the issues.
You see, he's a member of the Parliamentary Subcommittee on Health. So when we are doing this, it should be dispassionate of politics. He attacks the person of Dr. Patrick Kumabwadi. You try to bring him online that he is a health professional. I am not attacking him because he is a health professional. We are discussing the thing based on the technical nature, and we agree. We have stated early on that we duly acknowledge the contribution of our dear brothers, the doctors, the nurses, the midwives, the contribution to the health sector in the country. It is dispassionate of politics. However, we cannot discount the contribution of the community health workers because of the nature of their work. We need to discuss it in a context that we need to discuss. That is the point we're making. So Honorable Akando should please run away from the politics. Let's do this in a very organized manner so that we all move forward. Now, my brother makes a point about, you mentioned the backlog. I'll begin answering from the point of the backlog, and I'll state.
And that there is
I'll begin.
For these people, when there are a lot of people at home.
I'm coming. I'll begin with the point of the fact that my chief executive officer, Mr. Kofi Ba Ejapong, this morning held a crunch meeting. In fact, we invited them when he was on his way to the Eastern region, and we pleaded with them to come to the office, and they came. We sat, had a very fruitful meeting. I think I should even call for my chief executive officer to be awarded for an ADRS. We called them into a meeting. Let me land.
The information you put out there is misleading, and that the information put out there by the YE after the meeting on the social media handles of your CEO.
No, we'll go into that. We'll go into that. But the crust of the matter is that we acknowledge their concerns, but we can't discount the context from where we are coming. And so we called them into a meeting. And we had a very fruitful discussion. So it's even surprising that we are back on there having this discussion. But let's tackle the issue of the backlog. I ask a very simple question. I have 2 masters. I'm pursuing a master's in economics. I have a master's in marketing and communications. Are you saying that because of my 2 masters, if I don't have a job yet, I will be looking for a salary of about between 5 to 10,000? So if government wants to provide a job opportunity for me, that is my bracket. That is my category. The kind of allowances I would be looking for is different from the kind of allowance a normal diploma person will be looking for. Am I saying, or are they saying, that because I have a double master's or a PhD, and I'm looking for between 5 to 10,000, that person that's looking for 500 cedis and doesn't have the opportunity I have, the education I have, shouldn't be part of the economic development and be recruited and get a job? Is that the argument they are making? I'm not sure this is in fairness to nation building. I'm not sure it is fair to the beneficiaries that we are talking about. Are we saying that we do community police? There are over 100,000 need of police for the Ghana Police Service because they haven't been able to do it and recruited 100,000 people into the service. Because of that, we should not recruit community protection assistants to support security delivery in the basic communities, to support traffic control in the communities, to support the entire security system in the country. Is that the argument? Okay. I'm not sure that's let me land. Let me land. I'm not sure that's the argument.
But you need to wrap up. We're working with
we have said, and I'll read this part to you, that they are different categories, and we shouldn't mix everything together. And I'll state it here that the ILO refers to community health workers as a distinct occupational group, ISCO 3253, within the associate health professionals category, who provide health education and referrals for a wide range of services and provide support and assistance to communities, families, and individuals with preventive health measures and gaining access to appropriate curative health and social services. Where in this have we said that somebody is going to inject a patient? Where in this have we said that somebody is going to operate on somebody? Where in this have we said that somebody is going to take the medical history of someone? And so their argument really don't sit well with us. But however, we reckon that we should sit together. And that is why my chief executive officer, Mr. Kofi Ejapong, this morning brought all of us around the table, and we have spoken to Mr. Patrick Kumar-Abuaji, and we have even said that you don't have a case with us. We are Youth Employment Agency. You are dealing with the Ghana Health Service. In fact, you are part of them. You are part of the curriculum that we have set up. How so that you come back to us instead of going back to the Ghana Health Service to attack us?
See, my brother here is just, going back and forth. He's citing community police. Do we have a backlog of police officers? You see, the reason why we have identified a gap is because we have not employed the requisite mix of professionals over there. Dr. Kumar-Abuaji talked about a gap that has been identified. And I'm saying that because we haven't employed... There are volunteers who are doing that work. Yes, there is why is it that there is a volunteer? There is a volunteer because we have not employed the number of my brother.
There are categories.
When the chip concept came up, when
there are categories.
Don't heckle me when you were talking. I kept quiet.
It's not fair.
Listen to me. You know I can do this to you, but I've decided to. I decided to be a gentleman and allow me to be a gentleman and allow me to speak because I did not interject when you were talking. What I'm saying is very simple. I'm saying that gap has been identified because we have not employed the requisite manpower that is required to provide those services. Everything that he has said that the community health workers are going to do will be best done by the preventive health nurses. Okay. Do you know why? Because you see, when the concept came up, I told you who are supposed to be there. There was nothing like volunteers because we thought that we'd be able to employ the needed manpower to man the place. Okay. I mentioned the community health nurses. I made mention community health officers. I made mention of midwives. If you have 3 community health nurses in a CHIP compound, there wouldn't be any need for a volunteer.
Was the program justified in 2016 when it started?
Which program?
This community health workers program, which Honorable Akando indicated that, well, in 2016, he saw that there was a need because there wasn't this backlog. So it was okay for that to have been introduced for it to run from 2016 to 2028. But for now, the fact that there is a backlog means that we should be focusing on bringing on board. And it looks like that's the same argument.
Exactly what I'm saying.
And I'm asking you if in 2016...
There was a backlog.
If in 2016 this was justified, and why the nurses did not raise any concern with this in 2016. Of course, you are not in office. But why if was it justified then? Why is it not justified now? That's the question.
Listen to me. We have cooed against a democratically elected government before in this country. Does it mean that today we should call for a coup? No. So if we did something wrong in 2016, doesn't mean that we should repeat it.
So what I'm saying is very simple. That's wrong.
Whatever it is, what I'm trying to let you understand is that we should employ the community health nurses, and these gaps that have been identified by the Director General, by they themselves, will not exist.
Very well. Okay, we'll take a break. We need to go and make money.
Okay, go and make money.
We need to. So I'll take a break. When I come back, we'll have our final moments on this issue that is becoming, we'll be back after the break. Stay with us.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
Welcome back. It's still the point of view. It's getting heated in right here. I wish you could see what was happening in the studio on break, but it's still the point of view. We're discussing this issue about recruitment of senior high school graduates for the YES Community Health Workers module. The Honorable Akando and Mr. David Chum Kranting of the Ghana Registered Nursing Association are obviously not badging. They are not for this program at all, but I have the Director of Corporate Affairs of the YE, Emmanuel Kwesiefrie, who is sort of trying to make the point that this program is important. Of course, having armed himself with some bullets and support also from the Ghana Health Service, as well. Let me quickly read these messages and then from our viewers quickly, just for a few minutes. This one, okay, as Papa BC says, you see how politics of deceit has led this country to. In the NDC government, shortage of nurses, hence recruitment of Ghanaians with 6 months training happened. That's a serious government. By an NPP government, no shortage of nurses, rather backlog of nurses, but this government wants to recruit SHS graduates. Okay. And then this one says, ask Mr. Free where the money, I'll come there, where the money from this. So that's Prince Henry from Kuforidia. Where the money will come from to pay these people they intend to recruit? How much are they going to pay them? Is the recruitment permanent? Okay, YA jobs are just for 2 years, so Remain from Boko, Ramani, from Boko says, please, all that you are saying about women not attending antenatal cannot be done by mere SHS graduates. We will not sit and allow politicians to destroy the healthcare system. This one says the recruitment of SHS graduates is not a miss. What the government is failing to see is that people are now hungry and angry. Okay. A lot of messages. All right. I'll come back to some of that. The Honorable Akando. So, as a committee in Parliament, obviously, the House is on break, but you have some power to try and make reason prevail, at least from your point of view, in relation to this matter. Are there any tools in your kit box that you would want to employ to see some closure to this matter?
Yes, before I go then, if you are in government, you must be humble enough to listen. You see, you have to listen. The country is for all of us. It's not for one person. And we all have to contribute to the development of this country. In this discussion, if there's anybody who is doing politics, clearly it's not me. And the listeners of this program can judge. If there's anybody doing, if for the fact that I am drawing your attention to the situation which warranted this health extension officers, I am doing politics. Then I will do politics. Let's put issues in their right perspective. You drew my attention to the fact that this was rolled out as far back in 2016. And I'll tell you that, look, in 2016, this was the beginning of the process. There was absolutely, and I tell you, my brother, there was absolutely nothing like huge backlog of community health workers. Okay? And therefore, at this moment, we have at that stage. Even me, today, okay, I am even convinced that my government looked on and there were huge backlog of community nurses staying at home, and they went and recruited non-professionals, trained them. I will totally take against that position, and I'll not be a hypocrite. But the two scenarios are not the same. They're completely different. And look at the analogy you thought to draw. That if they are mastered, and therefore government cannot pay him, and they can get a cheaper labor somewhere. Government cannot pay because you cannot pay. Okay. They are talking about healthcare delivery too, for Christ's sake.
Okay, Honorable Wakanda, we need to wrap up.
And
so
therefore,
yes.
Can I conclude, please? We are talking about healthcare delivery. And therefore, even if government can recruit out of the many thousands in the house, it can even recruit 2,000 or 3,000 out of these numbers, so that at least we will reduce the number of backlogs in the house. It makes a lot of sense. You don't go out a policy before you engage stakeholders. You don't do that anywhere. No serious government has this. So before you go out, even as a supervisory committee in Parliament, the truth also has come to our attention. We should have engaged a lot of other stakeholders before even rolling out this policy. And when you have heard and we are drawing your attention, you are still something different. I mean, who is against creating jobs for the youth of this country?
Okay.
And they do not do that. They do not start that propaganda in the first place. Who does do that? The nurses in the house are also not youth of this country. Do they care for Burkina Faso?
Very well, Honorable Akando. Yeah, so, well, thank you. David, yes. David, yes. So, on what condition are you going to back down from your high horses in terms of this matter?
My brother, if government employ all the backlog of nurses and midwives in this country today, you see, we need to prioritize the health sector. That's and the health needs of the good people of this country. We are playing with the life of people. Look, let me tell you, the distance between life and death is like a gutter strip. So we need to be very careful when we are bringing people. These SHS graduates that they are bringing, who is going to regulate them? Everybody who works in the health sector, listen to me, everybody who works in the health sector is mandated to be regulated. Okay? Nurses are regulated by Nurse and Midwifery Council. Doctors and dentists are regulated by Medical and Dental Council. Physician assistants and certified registered nurses are regulated by Medical and Dental Council. Others by Allied Health. So these people are going to regulate them.
Ghana Health Service.
What?
Ghana Health Service.
Is Ghana Health Service a regulatory body? My brother, listen to me. Ghana Health Service is an agency of the Ministry of Health, administrative body. that implement. They don't regulate. They are regulatory entities. So that is a non-starter. Because you should even drop it. You shouldn't even say this. When
you back down only when all the people are recruited.
When we recruit the nurses, because I'm saying that we have identified the gap because we have not employed enough people there. If we have all the things that he has said beautifully, that is going to be done by the SHS graduates, are actually supposed to be done by community health nurses. Okay, I've told you when I was in training, we used to follow community health nurses to do education. We move to schools, we move to homes, communities. Let me tell you the concept. If the concept is working properly, if you seek any health care in a hospital, for instance, if I'm operated upon with a hernia and I'm discharged, I'm supposed to be referred to a community health nurse or a public health nurse who will follow up and come to my house, look at what goes on there, perhaps.
Does it happen?
No, it's because we don't have enough people. That's why we have to employ them. That's exactly what we are saying.
So the
gap is there because
we are not recruiting.
You are not recruiting, not because
we need this SHS.
All right.
So clearly,
I have 3 questions.
I'm answering your questions. Your questions.
We are just coming from a NAPCO debacle, where as we speak, people have not even NAPCO, the trainees, all of them have not even been paid. But they are being migrated onto some. We were told you start will absorb some of them. That's number 1. So
what's
the sustainability of this program? That's 1. 2, how much are these SHS graduates going to be paid? Where is the money going to come from?
So first of all, let me answer you.
We are taking on a lot of obligations which is unnecessary.
It is clear.
We are owing people that we have employed already.
You asked that I became
people that we have employed. Of course, you didn't
David,
you wanted me to
okay, you don't.
It is very
just
clear.
2 minutes.
It is very clear. He has made the statement that every single person staying home should be recruited before all of us in the country we get jobs. Is this how we want to run the country? So until the last person
respond to those
are they not Ghanaians?
Everybody else cannot work because we don't contribute to the economic development of the country. And
we take care of you.
Honorable Akando Line, I've shown you the YE Act, which mandates us to work in the health sector as well in collaboration.
But you say that this particular program has not come before them in Parliament.
But 2016,
I think that's the point.
There were no backlog of government-trained
I've told you that we are working with the Ghana Health Service. Everything is under the auspices of the Ghana Health Service. We don't do recruitment for Ghana Health Service. So if they want to be recruited, their tax should go to the Ghana Health Service.
The policy is not well thought through.
We are working under the auspices of the Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service.
This afternoon when we met,
David, I don't appreciate what
you gave him a lot of time. That is why
I don't appreciate what you're
I'm being heckled.
Funding.
I'm being heckled.
Question of funding.
I'm being heckled.
Where are you going to get money to pay them?
Sustainability. From 2017 till now, when lawyer Justin Kudiafrimpo took over the reins of the Youth Employment Agency, and my current boss, Mr. Kofi Japan, also took over. Have you heard anywhere that community police or beneficiaries of the Youth Employment Agency have gone out to demonstrate that we haven't paid them? Have you heard anywhere? We sit down properly. I told you earlier that we do impact assessment of our programs. We manage the program very well and look for funding.
How much are they going to be paid?
Before we roll out the program. So this program, we are talking to development partners.
You are talking to
communication service tax is coming in. In fact, we are prepared
to do it. We are taking on more obligations.
We are paying them 400 cedis. That is under review. He has very much.
So the funding is going to come from
that's where they are.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. I had in studio David Chu Tinkran, General Secretary of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, and of course, Emmanuel Kwesi Efriye is the Director of Corporate Affairs. My name is Duke Bensopoko. I sat in for your regular host, Bernard Koko Avle. Of course, your messages as well for bringing them in. Keep watching Citi TV for the very best in programming. I had on phone the Honorable Kwabena Mintak and the ranking member on the Health Committee. Keep watching Citi TV for the very best in programming.
The Point of View is brought to you by Cowbell Coffee. Cowbell Coffee. Taste it, love it. South Africa Tourism. South Africa Tourism. Inspiring new ways.